Fantastic. Okay. So it is my pleasure to introduce Lacey Wicksall, Program Director with Wish Upon a Wedding. Lacey, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited. You're my first interview, so I'm kind of nervous.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm very excited to be the inaugural interview and to talk about Wish Upon a Wedding.
Yes, so start with telling me about Wish Upon a Wedding. What does the organization do and how did it get started?
Sure. So, Wish Upon a Wedding is a national nonprofit that grants weddings and vow renewals to couples who are facing terminal illnesses or what we would deem to be a life altering health circumstance, such as maybe a heart transplant or things of that nature. We were founded in 2010, and tomorrow, actually, we're granting wish number 222.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So, Wish Upon a Wedding started because this woman named Liz Guthrie, who was a wedding planner in the Bay Area of San Francisco, she thought it would be a really cool idea to give away a free wedding. And so she had people apply and write in from all over the country. And this one particular couple really stood out to her. It was a woman who was battling cancer. They were also veterans. And so they chose them as the recipients. And then she assembled an entire group of people who all donated. And they did this amazing giveaway wedding for this couple. And it kind of got her thinking, we could do a lot of these. And so she formed Wish Upon a Wedding. And we've obviously it's taken a lot of turns and it's grown and evolved in the last 12 years. But here we are today, wish number 222, knocking on the door.
That is so incredible. And tell me about what your favorite part is of what you do and then why it's important. I think there's obvious reasons, of course, why it's important to gift celebration and joy in moments when it may be harder to find them. But tell me from your perspective why you think Wish Upon a Wedding is so important.
I think there is a lot to be said about hope. And I think there's a lot of research that shows that hope is good for you mentally, hope is good for you physically. I think it's hard to measure, but I think doctors would tell you that it has profound effects on the human body. And so we have an opportunity to take a couple who is trudging through despair, often fighting cancer or a disease like ALS or Huntington's, is physically, emotionally, financially draining. And we give people the opportunity to look forward to something and to take their mind briefly off the horrible treatment that they've gone through or the horrible side effects that they are suffering from, and to focus instead on a celebration. We do a lot of weddings, but we do a lot of vow renewals. And oftentimes it's a couple that maybe they've been married for 30 years and they got married when they were 19 years old at a courthouse and
Sure.
they had no money and no opportunity to have professional photos taken or carry a beautiful bouquet or wear a white dress. And so they've gone through this journey. They've battled their illness or are currently normally battling their illness. And they've assembled this whole team of people that have come alongside them. And it's really neat for them at this point to stand up and say, we're still here. We still love each other. Look what we have accomplished. Look what we have been able to persevere through. And we want to celebrate with all these people who have helped us.
So,
and yeah, so I love being able to provide people with hope. I'm like you, I love hearing stories. And I can tell you what, I've been doing this for 5 years. I've interviewed hundreds of people. I have heard some of the most outrageous, crazy, amazing love stories. The ways that people have met and the things that people have been through. Just yesterday, I interviewed a couple that it was a very profound, tragic story that they were currently going through. And every time I start to think about things in my life that are difficult, you always have to remember, and that's not to diminish whatever it is that anyone's going through, but you do have to remember that someone else probably has it worse, and that there is so much joy to be found in this life. And most of the people I interview are so joyful. They're so hopeful. They're so thankful. They're so appreciative. They really savor every moment.
I love that
Because
so
they don't
much.
have a choice.
No, truly. And it speaks so much to I mean, what I speak to my clients about all the time. Like, you have to find joy. You have to find joy every day if you can. If you're lucky, there's a way to find some piece of joy. And honestly, like sometimes it's just like I got to enjoy my coffee and it was hot.
Yes.
Like whatever
Yes.
it is, how small it may be. And I think that leads me sort of into my next question is, what is your advice for couples who are planning their wedding currently? And I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but what is your advice for couples who are planning their wedding and who might be feeling that stress, who might be feeling lack of joy and like lack of inspiration and things like that?
I mean, I think just try to enjoy the process. There's so much to be found along the journey, and to have grace with people and to be kind to people and to open up your heart and know that it's a neat journey to plan a wedding. You get to work with all these incredible people who want to share their talents with you. Our A really, really neat facet of our organization is that all of the vendors that take part in our wishes, and we have approximately anywhere from 11 to 15 to 20 vendors that take part in each wish, they do so voluntarily, 100%. So, and if you've looked at our blog, these wishes are incredible. They are unbelievable, the talent and the inspiration, the creativity. And these are people who have signed up to donate their services and their resources and their talent to people they've never even met.
Yeah.
There's so much good in the world. And if you're, maybe even if you're planning a wedding and you're trying to think, maybe you're a little bit older and you don't really need a registry or whatever, maybe you think about donating your registry to Wish Upon a Wedding, or to finding an organization that you care about and that your wedding can then be a part of furthering the generosity within the wedding planning community, which is what we try to do every single day. We want to bring as many people into the fold that we can.
That's incredible. I want to be in the fold. If you guys are ever up, like honestly,
Please.
ever up in the Portland area and you need any sort of event services, my team, we would love to be involved.
We have done a lot in Portland, and we would love to work with you.
Back when it's sunny. I'm speaking
Yes,
from everybody
okay.
who lives here now. And it's just it's not a time. It's not, there's not a whole lot of weather related joy here right now. There will be soon though. I see the sun trying to come out.
I went to a wish, it must have been, I think it was 2 years ago. I went to a wish in the Willamette Valley.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. I fell in love with that area.
It's so stunning out there, and people, we're out there a lot. And the like incredible amount of folks who come to our space, to our
Mm-hmm.
and that's actually how I found you. I think a few of my friends, a videographer that I know, worked with you on a wish. I think it might have been in Washington. I think he might have driven up to Washington for it. But I've just been so struck by your organization and what it does, and just like the beautiful moments that can be captured on a day that you gift these folks. And that's the main reason why I reached out, because I just think it's the coolest thing ever. And it really truly like reminded me the first time that I saw some of the photos and some of the video of why I do what I do. Like, I think we can get
Yes.
so much in the rat race of making money, right? And hitting quotas, and also just like getting through. I mean, wedding season is bonkers. We are turning events over and we're still trying to be present and still trying to make sure that all those details are in place. And remembering that it's not just a job. Like, I get to show up every day. And yes, this is my job, and I'm very fortunate to have this be my job, but I get to experience these like private, authentic moments of joy and celebration with folks who will likely never be in the same room again, and likely whose face you never see again after that day. How many
That is a really neat thing about a wedding. You think to yourself, when else, I guess, outside of a funeral, when else are you going to assemble every single person that couple loves, who would ordinarily never know each other? We did a wish in November, I want to say, for a sweet couple. They were young, they were in their 30s. He was battling stage 4 cancer, and he died hours after the wish ended.
Oh,
Legitimately, he died in his sleep the night of the wish. And his wife reached out to me, and she just said, he got to say goodbye to everyone. I mean, it was a living funeral for this man. I can cry thinking about it. And to take photos with his family and his children and just everyone that he loved got to say goodbye to him hours before he passed away.
It's such what an incredible thing. I think so often we remove death and the end of life from moments like weddings. Like we try, try to not think about things like that, right? Like,
Sure, of course.
and then, but to know that like it is something that intersects so often,
Mm-hmm.
and those moments become things that you carry forward in the remaining parts of your life, or you look back when you lose someone like, oh my gosh, like look at how amazing they looked on that day, or look at how fun this
Mm-hmm.
is. Or do you remember that they had, I mean, you get to sort of shed, I don't know, you get to paint it in a different way.
Well,
What
and
a
think about it. So many of our wish recipients have little kids,
Yeah.
and then now they have a video and they have photos and they have memories from
Mhm.
that day.
Of when everybody was like at their best, right? Like you can kind of choose to, yeah. I think about that actually all the time when I watch your videos, because I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I
Mm.
look at them all the time and I wonder, like, what are they remembering about these moments? And of course, you don't know, right? Until you talk to them when they're older and you're like, what do you remember about that period in your, hopefully it's not that I like lost my mind because I couldn't find your shoe. It's like how great your birthday party was or something like that. And giving more and more of those moments. We did a wedding a few years ago, and this gal called me, and her father was battling terminal cancer.
Mm.
And so we had 3 months, to put together their wedding. And then about 2 weeks before the wedding, he had a health event, and we were not certain that he was going to be able to join us on the day. So we threw like a tiny wedding. And
I
it,
love that.
it was incredible. It was all the same vendors. We just called everybody and we were like, we're doing it tonight. Let's just, what are you doing tonight? Her dress was already done, everything. A lot of family had been in town for an extended period. So we just found a venue and like had sandwiches and stuff. And he walked her down the aisle and they officially got married. And he was able to eat and he was able to celebrate in
Yeah,
an event, I think, too, where he didn't feel the pressure to perform. It was a larger wedding and everybody
sure.
wasn't well. And I think he was able to, he seemed very comfortable. Like he just really enjoyed it. And then he was able to be with us on the day. And it was incredible to watch them share a dance twice. They got to do the
Oh,
and share a dance twice. And I mean, I will remember that. And I'm like, even now, I mean, I will remember what it felt like to stand and witness that for the rest of my life. And it was honestly, it came for me in my career at a time where I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to work every Saturday and be away from my kids? And standing there, it was like, yes, like I'm not built to do anything else. This is what I'm built to do.
I think that's what our wish granters feel. I constantly have planners reach out to me afterwards and say, thank you so much. Thank you. That was a gift to me.
Yes.
They just, it's so fulfilling to give back to other people.
Yes. And just to be reminded that what we do has gravity, and what we do is important, and and because I think so often you're like, okay, well, I throw fancy parties, but that's not what we do. We get to be there
It's
to truly
it's
witness.
like the most important day for most people in their whole life.
Yes, and just such a huge part of the human condition. Like you were there
Hmm.
to watch the experience and feel along with your couples what love is and
Yeah.
what love means to them and how they demonstrate it and how they show folks, what their version of their love is. And it's just such a like poetic and in oftentimes, and especially in what you do, very tragically beautiful, almost like Shakespearean sort of experience. Oh my gosh. Okay, that leads me to my last question, which is what do you think we can do to make our industry better? I think a lot of folks feel like, especially if you're involved in social media and maybe you aren't interacting with accounts like yours all the time, but you're interacting with folks who are telling you what you need to have a good wedding, or you're not going to have a fun wedding or enjoy yourself if you don't spend this much money, or that kind of stuff. There's a lot of
Yeah.
toxicity in and vanity in the wedding industry. And that's something that makes me absolutely nuts. I hate it, but I also think it's something that's really important to talk about all the time. So what do you think we can do to make our industry better and to really allow folks to experience more of that joy?
I think people should be allowed to be themselves. And there is, Pinterest and things like that are so wonderful. But all they do is breed, like you said, this competitiveness and the need to have everything be so perfect. And that's kind of what I love about our wishes is that each one is unique and each person just gets to have a day that's created just around who they are and what they care about. And at the end of the day, it's not about the party. It's not about the florals. It's about what you just said. It's about the two people in the room that are getting married and starting their life together.
Yeah.
And that's one day. You've got a whole lot of other days coming up.
Yes.
And so just up that time with your friends and your family and give back and have love and grace for the people around you in the industry and be kind. And it's not about what it looks like. I think incorporate important. I love all seeing all the special details that people put into their weddings, and there's a lot of ways to make it really personal and really special that have nothing to do with spending money.
So true and so important. And I think a lot of people get wrapped up too. And if they're copying somebody, that's
Yeah.
something that I hear all the time. If they're like, well, I've seen that before. And I'm like, if you come up with an idea that nobody's seen before, I, you, I don't know who to tell about that. That's a big deal. That would be a massive deal if you come, like you can literally find an image that you're like, I want exactly that. And that's okay to do too, as long as it feels authentic to you, if it excites you and it gives you that fire and inspiration.
Hmm.
Oh gosh, this has been so amazing. Thank you so much for being my first interview.
No, thank you for having me. I was thrilled. I'm thrilled to talk about Wish Upon a Wedding and thrilled to meet people like you. I would love to work with you
I would too.
and to just help spread the word about how we can just help more people.
Yes, and that's kind of to end. Tell folks where they can find you, how they can support Wish Upon a Wedding, and all of that, because I know a lot of folks are going to want to be able to follow along with the journeys of all of your amazing recipients.
Sure, absolutely. You can visit our website, wishuponawedding.org. You can find us on Facebook, Wish Upon a Wedding, on Instagram at Wish Upon a Wedding. Through our website, you can apply to be a wish recipient. You can sign up in our database to be a wish granter. So if we found a couple that we had approved, like in the Portland area, we could call you up and ask you to be our planner. You can donate online, where we do a lot of different campaigns throughout the year. And we would love to have anyone volunteer or be a part of our organization.
Well, Lacey, thank you so very much for this interview and keep doing your incredible work. I'm so grateful for you to be out there giving the gift of joy, and yay, thank you.
Thank you.